No, this title is not clickbait. Crypto is going to absolutely get demolished at some point next year in 2025. There is going to be a crash of titanic proportions, and it is going to take many lives. And my hope with this video is that I can stop it from taking your life, because the vast majority of people who FOMO in and get into crypto late into the bull runs get their ass absolutely handed to them on a silver platter by the markets. Now, everywhere else on the internet, you're going to see people screaming that Bitcoin is going to $1 million, 250K, 500K, astronomical price predictions. And while I too am bullish that those might play out, the truth is that you will get absolutely massacred by this market if you don't have a logical plan as to how you will exit your crypto positions once your price targets are set. So this video is all about helping you plan an exit from this market throughout 2025. Because if I'm right, crypto is about to go into the biggest bubble, the biggest price growth that it has ever seen, and create a .com-like explosion of value. But remember, what happened on the other side of the .com bubble was one of the most crushing and crippling market collapses in the history of our modern society. So while I believe that we are about to see a historic bull run, you need to be planning your exit from this run before it even starts, or you will get caught in the jaws of an absolutely horrific creature known as the bear market. Now, first and foremost, no FUD. When I say I'm selling and dumping everything, I am not talking about my Superverse position. I have founders coins in the Superverse project, which I helped create, and I have not touched any in 4 years. So do not come at me like I'm here rushing to hit the sell button. Those are not the positions I am talking about. I'm talking about the stuff that I have bought throughout the last few years as part of this cycle, stuff that I've covered here. I'm not talking about equity in a company or my founders tokens in Superverse. So
keep that FUD out your mouth, or I will find you on the timeline and come right down on you.
All right, now for the fun part. You are seeing right now historic levels of FOMO. We've never seen anything like this. Bitcoin's BlackRock ETF did $1 billion in trading volume in the first half hour, the first 35 minutes of trading today. That is not just FOMO. That is blind greed mania about to set in on this market, because we've just now legalized crypto for the first time in its history. The election of Donald Trump, an historic election where the pro-crypto candidates, not just at the top of the ticket, but throughout the House of Representatives and the Senate, absolutely crushed the anti-crypto army that was supposedly going to extinguish the industry. No, they got their butts served to them, and the people have spoken. They want crypto. In the words of former SEC Commissioner John Reed Stark, the stark reality, I don't know if he's branding that around his last name, but I see what you did there, but the reality is that the people have spoken, and the SEC should stop all crypto enforcement, dismantle, settle all ongoing litigation, and Chair Gensler should resign. President Trump's victory was a mammoth landslide and should be respected. To the moon, I guess. Again, under the whole history of Bitcoin and crypto, there's never been a friendly government. There's always been the fear that this could somehow get regulated out of existence, that we would get unfriendly lawmakers, and that the industry would just get crushed. So seeing the election of Trump and all these pro-crypto lawmakers, it's a sea change that cannot be expressed. There's no way to overstate it. And Senator Lummis has just put forward a bill for the US government to buy 200,000 Bitcoin per year over 5 years for a total of 1 million BTC as a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which at today's prices is $87 billion in inflows that are meant to be kept for 20 years. But that's not the point. It's not an $87 billion stimmy. This is probably a multi-trillion dollar stimmy because of all the world governments around that will rush in FOMO and try to buy and front run that. By the time the US government finishes accumulating, it could be many trillions of dollars that they will have to spend to accumulate this much of the Bitcoin supply, almost 5%. There's institutional FOMO across every crypto stock on Wall Street. Looking at MicroStrategy and Coinbase, you can see Coinbase here is trading at $327. Remember, we were covering this thing at $60 here on the channel. And what else is there to say but this is gorgeous. This is insane. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Just an eruption out of the charts, hitting as high as $88,000 right out of the gate. Over the last few days, it's gone from, a low of about $50,000 just 2 months ago up to almost $90,000. Shows very little signs of stopping. To make things even crazier, we have crypto legend Kobe changed his PFP back to the Bitcoin goggles. I haven't seen him wear these Bitcoin goggles in years and years, and much less, I haven't seen him bull post. Look at him. He's bull posting, he's shit posting, he's saying, he told me, nobody's ever seen anything like it before. An asset so orange, it can become green. Nobody's seen anything like it. Druckenmiller looked at the green candle and said, that's not regular PA, that's USA. Obviously, that was horrible. That was a Trump impression. But really, he says the hard road goes from 80K to 100K. The easy road goes from 100K to 250K. Now, Kobe's kind of the original crypto celebrity. I used to look up to this account a lot. I still do. I think he's a great account, an extremely, extremely good trader. However, it's been years since I've seen him bull post on crypto. Certainly not bull posting things like 250K. That's absolute insanity. So right now, even the most cautious voices have thrown caution to the wind and are getting absolutely giga bullish on crypto. Even Mr. Eric Crown, who's usually a man of the data and a man of the data only, is showing this data-based approach where Bitcoin is looking at targets as high as 160K here in the blue box. And Peter Prant is calling for targets up to 240K. Absolute bull mania. If that hits, bull mania is happening, and anyone holding assets is going to be forever having their lives changed. But if and only if they have a plan to sell and realize those gains. Now, here is the most important chart, in my opinion, in crypto, which is the others Bitcoin chart. And as you can see, it is just continually dropping here against Bitcoin. We thought it was making a breakout about a few weeks ago, but no, it's just continually crashed, and it's down astronomically since its peak here in early 2022. You can see here that it fell as much as 60%. So it's not even the pregame to the party, because once the party starts, altcoins will start making up ground on Bitcoin. But that's only going to happen after Bitcoin finds some kind of respite here, probably maybe around 90K. I don't know. I'm guessing, and I'll show you where I'm actually guessing Bitcoin's going to go throughout this cycle. But as this others Bitcoin chart does one of these, what you're going to see is altcoins printing generational wealth candles. You're going to see altcoins going 10x and then 10x again, and then sometimes a few x's from there. You're going to see projects worth hundreds of millions add billions of market cap very quickly, and that is going to be a massive wealth effect for so many people. But what happens is that it's intoxicating. It's like getting Cabo white girl wasted. You're on vacation, you're in the beach in the sand, you think that nothing can go wrong, and then boom, you get kidnapped by the cartel. You're in the back seat. They're asking you for your social security, they're draining your bank accounts, and they want to wear your skin. They want to wear your skin. So let's not do that. Let's plan ahead. Let's use our noggins. Let's use the buddy system. Let's stay in the safety of the resort, because the bull markets make you think that you can never, ever lose. And that is precisely when you lose, and you lose bigger than you could ever imagine. So how exactly are we going to predict the cycle top? Because that is one of the most elusive things I've ever seen. In fact, some of the best traders I know have told me and have stated publicly that buying the bottom is pretty easy. You can just see the outrage. It goes silent. It goes dead for so long. And you can just get that feeling that how much worse could it get? How bad could it get? In fact, I was able to buy around 19K. A lot of the other traders I know were able to buy around 16K Bitcoin. Buying the bottom and spotting it is actually not that hard, because it's just so insanely bad and depressing that you just think, okay, there's nothing worse. There's just no ring of hell below this one. But quantifying euphoria is really hard to do, and spotting the cycle tops has been notoriously very, very difficult. So let's take a look at these following metrics and see if we can understand where we are in the cycle and where it could be going. Now, first and foremost, we have the global liquidity chart, and I'll put this one up on the big screen so you can see it here, but you can see it ebbs and flows over the course of several years. And you can see, if I move my face here, that we've been ticking up in liquidity here since the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, which was exactly when we got the bottom on Bitcoin chart. This cycle is predicted to peak somewhere in mid 2026. Now, will that be the exact peak of crypto? I don't know. Of course, if it peaks in 2026, that would mean that it's been the longest cycle in crypto history, and one could argue a super cycle. Now, I have to claim some clout here, because if you're new in crypto, you might not know this, but I was making bearish videos, like literally bearish videos, talking about how it was all going to crash, it was all going to burn all throughout 2022. And then right here, I made a video saying this is a new bull market. And the reason why I called it a new bull market was because the Federal Reserve, which created this market-wide collapse by tightening rates, stealth printed trillions of dollars by bailing out several banks in March of 2023. And I said, you know what? That's it. They've reached their line. They won't go any further than this. And that's where they're going to be drawing their lines to say, okay, you know what? We're not going to stimulate this beast anymore. We're going to be hands off. And that's when they reached their line and said, we're going to step in and save the markets. So to me, that was enough of a change in policy. Even though they didn't start quantitative easing, even though they kept raising rates, the reality was there was a backstop that got put in, a massive one. Just to be clear, calling bottoms and tops isn't enough. I think that you have to stay consistent throughout. And ever since then, I haven't had a moment where I flip-flopped between bullish and bearish. I've stayed bullish and I've stayed on a consistent message because that was what the audience needed to hear to remain in this market. And even at times I felt like I was going insane because I felt like maybe, just maybe, I might be wrong, but I had so much faith that this was what was happening based on all my research that I stuck with it. So I'm really proud of this moment. Make no mistake, this is a massive euphoric win for me and for this audience. So shout out to all of you who have been in the audience, and anyone new here, welcome. And we stayed on this message nonstop, about 20 months or so that we've been in this new bull market sector. So when I tell you that I'm very, very intentional about trying to make this content so it's best for you, the audience, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set you up for success. So the first thing you need to do for success is to go watch this video, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Getting Rich in Crypto. This is a complete guide. This helps give you every principle that I've used to get ahead and stay ahead in this market, to make absolutely life-changing amounts of money, and to actually keep it at the end of the cycle and not get bamboozled, famoosed by this insanely emotional crypto cycle. This video is your ultimate guide. I'm going to leave it pinned. It's one of my best pieces of work, and I sincerely hope it helps you on your trading journey. But now let's talk about several charts that I'm looking to help indicate when the cycle might be overheated. Now, the first one, ironically, is this. And what you can see here is that we've actually just touched it. We have here the USDT dominance, the tether dominance, which shows you how much of the market is occupied by stablecoins. Now, if you can see here, this actually timed the exact peaks back in 2021. You can see that it topped the mid-cycle peak in the beginning of 2021. And you can see that this trend line has actually been in effect. You can see here, it had a little peak that it timed in 2019. And you can see that it got the absolute pico top of the industry here in 2018. So it's been 6 years that this thing has been going strong and absolutely nailing the market. Actually, it'll come up on 7 years. So the question is, did we just hit a little bit of a peak that we need to go ahead and navigate through? Is that possible? I don't know. Because what we might see right now is that given the historic levels of bullishness, maybe we just see Bitcoin pull right through this. Maybe we see the crypto industry start going into uncharted territory. I actually tweeted that today. I said, look, we're rapidly approaching this trend line. If we get lower than this, that would mean that we are now making historic levels of gains in this market. And you have to take this indicator and say, hey, look, this one's just not useful anymore. It's not going to give us these cycle peaks anymore. Even though it's been good for 6 years, we need to throw this thing out the window because crypto is now legal. It's made in the USA, and we make our crypto pumps way bigger and way stronger than those other guys. Maybe that's what we're doing. Maybe this is a USA pump. I don't know. We'll see. So again, while this has been very reliable, let's see if it continues to be reliable. Because one of the things you have to understand is that the indicators that called the top last time, they very well might not call the top this time, which is why nothing beats having your own plan of where you want to sell coins and how much you want to sell them for. And it's better not to think in all in or all out, but to think of buying and laddering in and selling and laddering out. So you sell little bits at certain price targets, knowing that the thing could keep running and you want to have some more left over in case it does. And you want to buy little bits at certain price targets, knowing that the asset could continue to go down. And so you might want to have some money on the side. Again, USDT dominance has worked for 6 years, but maybe this is its time. Maybe it's time for it to stop going. We'll find out. The next thing is Bitcoin dominance. Now, this one is definitely going to be valuable because as this market gets totally overheated, what you'll see is that altcoins will start making up a significantly larger piece of the entire crypto markets. And so what we've seen over the last few years is pretty much Bitcoin dominance, which bottomed out here, which was the end of the bull run, really, which was the end of this 2021 bull run. It retouched it down here in August of 2022 and then has been forever up only. And so this is kind of your indicator that Bitcoin is regaining strength and building towards a new bull market. And once this thing starts to really collapse downwards, that's your indicator that the true degeneracy, that the true mania has set in and people are looking for all kinds of further risk curve gains. Now, what I will say is that this is the first time that we'll have a friendly legislative body towards innovation in crypto. What we've seen is that the governments have gone after innovators and builders in crypto relentlessly over the last 8 years or so. That's done. According to what Trump said, at least, that is done. And so we might see way more bullishness, way more appetite to take on risk and to hold these new protocols in crypto, the new exotic altcoins. And that very well might end up sending this way lower than the prior lows that it has established back in 2021. As you can see, it hit the exact same lows back in 2018 as well, the beginning of 2018, which was the end of the last bull run. So we can see that it hits this level, this blue line, both times that the bull run has essentially ended last time. So maybe, just maybe, we do continue lower than this. business. Maybe Bitcoin ends up giving up a lot more market share to new protocols that are taking over, going viral, like Solana, like Ethereum. Who knows what new insane altcoins will take the cake? But maybe, just maybe, it's a good idea to de-risk some of your portfolio, or a good chunk of it, at that blue line, because of course that has historically been an arbiter of when the altcoin season ends and things start cooling back off. Again, none of these things are laws, but they're ways that you can sort of mentally wrap your head around when might be a good time to sell and start exiting your position. Because the problem is, if you miss these bottoms here of Bitcoin dominance, you start losing value, and you lose it fast. In a matter of weeks, you can lose 50%, 60% of the value of your portfolio. That's just how market tops form and deflate. A great example of this is the sandbox. This is the all-time chart for the sandbox. As you can see, it was humming along, made some good gains, and then at one point at the end of 2021, it goes from, you can see here, a $700 million, $600 million market cap up to $6.6 billion market cap. And from this point of November 24th to this point, it was just about a few weeks. It was less than a month. That it went from 600 million up to 6 billion. And that is an astronomical amount of value. But you can see again, it went from 6 billion all the way back down to 4 billion and then soon to 2 billion within a matter of just a few more weeks after that. So if you're not ready to hit the sell button emotionally, you might get wrapped into buying those coins that are going absolutely parabolic at the end of the cycle. And that is the last thing you want to be doing. You want to be well ahead of the game, having some exposure to these narratives before they have these dramatic blow off tops, so that you're pretty much just hitting the sell button as you go into this late game stage of the bull run. Now, of all indicators, I think this one might be the best to look at. It's the Pi cycle indicator. Check out Quentin Francois, really good information over there. What you can see here is that when this yellow line and the green line cross, just think of it very basically, when the yellow line and green line cross, that's it. The market's cooked. But you can also see that it happens a little late. It doesn't exactly call the top of this. And in 2021, we actually had a second wave of bullishness after this cycle top. So we did have an echo run here in the late stage of 2021 after this indicator had fired. And you can see that the indicator only fired sort of well after the blow off top in 2018. But again, we're not looking for an exact red light, green light. We're looking for a series of pieces of data that together, collectively, can help us know when it's time to be more risk on versus risk off. And as you're getting closer to that red line of risk off, or multiple signals maybe start firing, then it's just a good practice to say, okay, maybe I just need to de-risk a little bit, to take something off the table and make sure that if this thing deflates, I still have won, I still have taken home some bacon for the winter, and I can then plan my next series of buys on Bitcoin throughout crypto winter. Now, another trusty indicator is the Coinbase app rank. Now, usually when this thing hits number one, it's hit number one on the exact Pico top days of the market, because this represents essentially retail FOMO into the market, people jumping in and buying crypto. When Coinbase hits number one on the App Store, that's usually a good indicator that crypto is pretty cooked. It's pretty overcooked. Of course, there's the anecdotal stuff as well. You see people in the street talking about crypto. At the barbershop, they're all talking about Bitcoin. At the gym, at the factory floor, wherever you are, that you see sort of uneducated, not geeky financial crypto folks, but normal people talking about crypto's upside. That's usually a good time that maybe you want to be thinking about taking some juice off of the buy button. Now, finally, let me just give you a little indicator. This is just roughly drawn. It is not scientific as a method at all, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of how I see that this could maybe go. So I see this as a very parabolic moment we're in. We could have some cool off here. I don't know, maybe we'll run up to 100K and then cool back down, kind of build some support around this region before having a big wave up in Q1. I think the time between now and the sort of inauguration of the president in the beginning of January is a big run, and then maybe a cool off, and then another big push into Q1. But the one thing I've always noticed is that summertime really sucks in crypto. It's usually just the worst time, because that's when mainstream investors are just not at their desks and trading. There's like a saying, sell in May and go away. I don't know why, but that just seems to work. So I think that period between May and October might again suck next year in 2025. And then we may see another echo run that takes us to an even higher Bitcoin price. The truth is, I don't know if the second half of the run is going to happen the same as it always has, even though it's been crazy how crypto cycles have repeated themselves. I do believe strongly that we're going to see this massive run up here in the beginning of the year, and that will be a time that you should be looking, if you hit some insane price targets, to take some portion of your portfolio off the table. I don't know what portion that is. is, that's going to be up to you. It's going to be asset dependent, and we're going to have to check back in on the market as things progress. Maybe things move a little slower than they look like they're moving right now. It seems when Bitcoin prints these massive daily candles like it'll never slow down, but maybe it will. The point is that I think between now and the end of Q1, you want to scale out some of your positions because we don't know if we're going to get the magic late Q4 2025 blow off Christmas rally unicorn, Easter bunny, all your dreams come true. Like if that happens, amazing, but you just don't exactly know. So I think taking some profits here in the first half of the year is not a bad idea, but knowing that, I do expect that we will have some kind of meaningful end of year rally in 2025. So that's how I really see the market here. You absolutely need to be planning your exits. I had said on my video before the run took place that I would be selling some at 80K Bitcoin. Obviously that came and went. I'm not selling stuff right now. I'm going to go ahead and play this by ear. I think we have a lot more ahead of ourselves. I think that the Trump win changed everything in the history of crypto and the future of this industry. So I'm going to be very, very data dependent and wait and see what happens, but I'll be actually making a lot more content. So make sure to follow me here on this channel, share this video around, and understand that if you want to succeed in this industry, you need to go against the grain. Just like I was buying throughout 2023, I was working and doing deep dives into altcoins, meme coins, gaming stuff, all when no one was looking at it. And now my portfolio is already perfectly positioned so that I can once again go against the grain and continue to make good decisions while everyone else is being emotional. That's what I hope I can do on this channel, is to help you get in that mindset, to make unemotional decisions, to go against the grain and to profit massively from crypto. But you have to think like other people aren't. So if you see everyone FOMOing and everyone being a degen and everyone with animal spirits, it's usually a good time to pump the brakes and say,
wait, is this late in the game? Is this actually the end, not the beginning?
And I hope this video helped you. Again, check out the channel, like, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon.